Welcome to Two Poor Kids. I'm Christian.
I'm Liz.
Probably.
I'm definitely Liz.
Oh, yeah.
No body swapping here.
Nailed it.
Not an alien.
Not today.
I have belly button.
Wait, what's that three-finger thing that people do?
That is a different sign.
Ah. Wolf.
That means something else entirely. Eyes up here, buddy. Ooh. It's a lot of work. Right?
Not for
Some
me.
coordination, certainly. Hi, everybody. Welcome to this week's podcast of Two Poor Kids. We already dropped in, but I hope everybody's doing well. Yeah, we have had quite a past week. Like, a lot has happened in the past week for us, which, like, I can speak for myself and you can speak for yourself, but collectively, like, as a couple and as a family unit, it's been busy.
Yeah, it's been a pretty successful week.
Yeah.
Overall.
Yeah.
I'm pretty happy with it.
I'm also pretty happy with it. On like one side, before we get into like tonight's topic, on one side, something that we have really been working hard towards for a while, for several months, is finally starting to like take some shape, and it's one of our side businesses that may one day become at least one of our main businesses, and it's exciting. So that's part of the Moss and Myth Society, that one, and that we went in, we did some things and looked at some spaces for the next step, but more to come, and that'll be covered on the other podcast.
Yeah,
and that was great, and so we got to have a weekend away at a space, trying to figure out the next right step.
What else was your big thing yesterday?
My big thing yesterday?
Yeah.
Yesterday?
Been talking about it for weeks.
Are you talking about me starting medication?
Yeah.
Guys, so I talked to... I had like several things. I had a doctor's appointment, I think at the top of the week, with just my regular doctor. I think that happened this week. It's been a really busy week, and I had really struggled to get into psychiatry, for like just to even confirm I have ADHD or not, and like figure out a medication pathway or not. And yeah, and so that like brought me into the depths of some pretty deep like sadness and defeat and depression, dealing with a over the phone consult of a person asking me a million personal questions in a very impersonal way. And then and I got a referral, and then immediately got on the books with a psychiatrist. And the psychiatrist said, basically, yeah, girl, let's try you on some ADHD medication. Wait on this other medication that they were going to use to potentially treat some depression, because maybe it's ADHD and not depression only, or whatever the driving factor is. So then I got that, and I'll talk about yesterday in just a second, but the day before, I have therapy every Wednesday. So I'll have therapy the next day from when this goes live. But I was telling my therapist, her name is Irene. Irene, like, what if I'm in talking to psych, and like they don't get it, and they don't see it, and what if they don't know that I have ADHD because I'm so good at masking it. She said, Liz, just be yourself. I'm dead. So I did. And the psych told me that I probably have ADHD and we should try it out. And then yesterday morning, I can't believe that it's only yesterday morning. I've done so much stuff and
Very efficient.
yeah, very efficient. Yesterday morning, I took the meds. I was holding it, and I think in a different way, but you described something similar when different meds, but similar concept for ADHD. And I was just like looking at them, and I had this fear. I had this dual fear. One, what if I don't have ADHD and I'm just hopped up on Mountain Dew all day, and then I still don't know what's wrong with me? And maybe it's just myself, and maybe I'm just a mess, and it's not chemical, and I just have to try harder. And so I'm like staring at it. And then the other, what if I do have ADHD? And with like a prong off of that, and then what if I can become well? And what does that look like? And do I even like myself when I'm well? Which is a big thing that I talk about in therapy is, will I be okay if I heal the parts of me? And will I still like myself when I'm healed? Logically, probably maybe. And then I'll probably yes.
Unsure.
I don't know. I don't know. It's a journey. And then I was also worried about like taking medication, having ADHD. And then I think like I'm also like a people pleaser. So what are like the implications of that? Or what if I have like medical complications with something? Or what if this medication doesn't work and I have to take a million other medications? So I took the medication and I literally felt like I just didn't feel anything. Like not like I went numb, just like I don't know. I don't know that I felt that much different for a long while. And I was like, I don't know if it's because I'm in like a very relaxing space. We were working, but we were also like part of the work was relaxation, guys, because we went to like a retreat space. I was like getting a facial done. And I realized like as I was in there that like the noise just was less. Like it's like the music was turned down in my head. Literally the music was turned down in my head. And I just like felt very calm and very chill. And so I didn't know what to equate that to, which if it was like medication or a weekend very intentional on like the future, but also relaxation, togetherness. It was just you and me and our other business partners, but it was us and no kids. Yeah, that was yesterday. I think today just kind of shook me. I was very efficient this morning. I woke up and I was just like, I'm going to do this and this and this and this and this. And then I did it. And I was like, I got to go take a shower. And then after the shower, I need to start brunch. And then I went to go into the shower. And Christian had said something to me as I was like walking away, which was probably like, we don't need to start brunch. But so I went to shower and I like came out and I just like walked up to you and I was just like, I think I have ADHD. And you were like, okay, yeah, why? And I said, because I can remember what I told you before I went into the shower. And I didn't have to repeat it like 100 times in my head. And then I just cried. Not sobbing. It was like gentle crying.
Gentle.
It was gentle, sweet little weeps.
Little baby bird.
That's my experience. Clearly my medication is worn off. I'm rambling.
Yeah, it's fair.
What about your week?
It's been pretty busy. I got a lot of stuff done in the shop. Filling some orders. I met with a lot of people.
Did a lot of things.
Did a lot of things. Yeah, then this weekend's just kind of flown by very quick. Friday, we were just busy running around up until the nighttime. And then, wait, today Saturday or Sunday?
We're recording on Sunday.
Oh, it's Easter.
Yes.
The worst holiday.
It was really cute this morning.
That's true.
We had an impromptu Easter egg hunt with the neighbor kids. Well, it was going to be one neighbor kid and like one of our friends' kids. And then suddenly there was like 3 extra kids that we just had so many eggs. And we're like, everybody go.
Find the eggs.
Find the eggs.
We had a lot of eggs.
We had a lot of eggs.
Yeah. That was nice. Then we kind of drove around today. Yesterday, we went from the lodge to a birthday party. And then I had a lot of driving around today.
Fish. You went to the fish market.
Went to the fish market.
And then you had to go and get the dog.
Just getting stuff done.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just been running around all weekend. I did spend some time at the fire pit, though, Saturday morning.
Yeah.
And
very
that was
successful.
Nice. I did some digital art. I'm getting pretty good at it. Yeah. And this is probably, aside from the fire pit, the most chill part of the weekend. So.
What's so interesting is that I feel like you're describing the weekend very different than what I experienced.
My weekend was different than your weekend. I would.
We were at the same lodge and had nothing to do together.
Huh?
We were at the same lodge and had nothing to do together. We didn't leave until 1 o'clock.
Yeah, the Saturday morning part was fine. That's what I'm saying. The rest of the weekend was very fast. Yeah. I'm not complaining about it. It's just what it was.
Yeah, I feel like it was a very relaxing weekend. I'm also a princess. Like, I don't drive when Christian's... I don't drive when Christian's around. I'm a passenger princess. I am. I know it. I like it. Yeah, and then you opted to go get the dog, and so I stayed home to cook yesterday. So you had even more drive time.
Yeah, and the other part is like you love going to kids' birthday parties, and I struggle with them.
Oh, okay. No, that's fair.
Not that birthday parties are inherently bad, but it was loud for me.
That's fair. Yeah, so we thought, foolishly, I think, that we would be getting to this birthday party just in enough time to, like, pick Zoe up. And so we didn't end up going to a farmer's market. And we were going to pick Zoe up and be there for, like, 15 minutes and go. Because normally, like, when you're renting out a space, you got to be out. Like, I've been doing this
for like another hour on top of that.
Yeah, so I've been doing this birthday. I love birthday planning. I love party planning and event planning and all of the planning. And so, like, the girls' birthdays are one of my very favorite things to do out of the whole year. And it's odd that they, like, let you stay in a party space an hour beyond when you're supposed to be there. And so we went to this indoor playground, and and it was much longer.
It ended up at the point that towards the end, I was like, I don't really care what you do. I'm going to go sit in the car.
You didn't say it like that, though. You were just like, I'm going
to go sit in the car.
Yeah.
And draw.
Your car's very quiet.
Yeah.
Which was great, because on the drive over to there, I had a headache. So, like, I guess I also just, like, checked out for that time.
So about that topic.
So, I am bringing sort of like like 1.5 part topics. Like one feeds into the other.
All right.
I would like, I think that it would be great for us to talk about, whatever, like pick a story or a version, from whatever age range you want, but the brokest that you've ever been. And I want to tell a story about the brokest that I've ever been. And then I want to tie that back into, what it's like to like love on a budget, as we're two poor kids. And although we're not like poor kids anymore,
No, that's still our theme.
it's very much still our theme. And it's also, like, I think we've been doing a really good job getting back into dating. Like, we have rules of dating. We've talked about this in a previous podcast about making sure that we're setting aside time just for us. And I think about that, and that some of our dates now can be kind of expensive, but that certainly is not always the case, and that certainly was not the case when we first got together. So those are the two sort of things. If we start with our stories, and then maybe we can talk about our favorite dates and some sort of what's different about loving on a budget. So what's the brokest you've ever been? Like, what's a symptom of that?
So I guess the brokest I and my family have ever been, definitely in the last 2 years of high school. Like peak addiction. I remember this all happened simultaneously. Is that sometime in September, someone blew up my parents' car, like in the front of our house.
Literally
Bomb fire in the front of the house.
Okay.
Then my dad ended up not being able to go to work because he worked in the next town.
Fair.
Lost his job.
Yeah.
We lost the house. And for like the start of probably my senior year, we were full homeless. My mom and I was skipping school regularly. And the majority of the day was my mom and I trying to figure out where the family is going to sleep tonight. Where we're going to get food. Just like school was not important at that time.
And in a small town, so it's also not like lots of shelters or lots of resources.
Yeah, and some of it was like, hey, we got a hotel room. You got a hotel room for the weekend. And then we had the whole family living in 2 beds in a hotel room. Yeah. And then, many and much longer than just my senior year, the entirety of the time of the high school for sure, and a lot of middle school, we were in and out of soup kitchens and food banks, and I learned very quickly what it felt like to essentially have to like accept handouts and how dehumanizing that is, really.
Yep.
My mom and I were always setting up the Christmas Santa thing with the angels on the tree, so that my brother and sister had gifts. Yeah. And, right before we lost our house, I remember it had to have been the winter before we lost our house. Basically, super broke during high school. I was not cool. There was like several times where like my parents couldn't pay the electric bill, so they shut off our electric and our water during during the winter, so we were running on a generator, heating the house with a grill in the house. Like, definitely wild, not suggested, and also very hazardous.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. We were like super broke. Like almost all my clothes, a lot of times came from a clothing shelter.
Yeah.
Anytime I broke my glasses, I was wearing broke glasses for however long we had to. There was plenty of times I had to like super glue them or hot glue them together. And I remember one time I broke the centerpiece and I had to wear like a hot glue stick in the center for a while. Yeah, and I had growing up, I started my own. Like I just started working very early, so I think my first actual job was working at the YMCA teen scene for a while, and then I worked at Jack in the Box, because I was just part of that group of kids that we just came from broken families.
Yeah.
And there was plenty of people that were always trying to like help us and like keep us straight, but at a certain point there was no hope. So
and then the us and them divide.
Yep. I knew that I belonged to a certain sect of the population, and it wasn't the rich people or the cool kids, or I hung out with the kids that came from broken homes. So
yeah.
Now that is the childhood one.
Yeah.
The other part is when I got into recovery, I was freshly a felon, and guess what? Felons don't get jobs. So yeah, I just kind of got stuck in the cycle that like I had to come up with $25 a month to pay my fines, so I didn't go to jail for the weekend or the week. And that's how people get stuck in the cycle is you can't get a job, but you still have to pay the fines, so you have to go make money. And you know how to make money, but you end up making the money, and then you get caught up. I didn't end up doing that, but
you could see how it would happen.
I could see how it would happen.
Yeah.
I always end up coming up with $25, but it was always like either my mom had $25 or odd jobs. Yeah, I worked a lot of like strange odd jobs for the first couple of years in recovery. All of my work came from somebody in recovery, and like I was doing roofing for a while. I'm 6'3". Roofing in the summer fucking sucks. And then I was doing some construction jobs, drywall and painting, and building stuff.
Cabinetry was old life?
Cabinetry was high school and just after high school.
Old life.
Yeah.
It reminds me of something that I've talked about a lot. We've talked about a lot. But like people get it really twisted. People get the idea and the concept of money really twisted. Have you heard of the phrase of like everybody is like 6 degrees of separation away from Kevin Bacon?
I have heard those words streamed together. I don't know what it means.
Oh, it means exactly what it sounds like, is that you are within 6 people, maybe it's 9 people, I don't know, the internet can correct me. But like between you and Kevin Bacon, that you either know somebody or you're related to somebody who is connected to Kevin Bacon in some sort of way. Kevin Bacon just apparently knows tons of people. Anyway, so like
I'm curious how this has to do with how people get money twisted.
I'm almost there. Um, it was this that was like a big phenomena of like a joke that had happened for us, you know, early 2000s kids, us 90s kids. And so I say that to sort of people think that they are very close to either somebody that they know is very rich or well off, or that they're very close to being able to be in middle class, upper class, the 1%. But I actually think that everybody that I know, even still, right now today, is probably 3 degrees of separation from homelessness. Like we are not even us right now, we are not actually closer to the 1% than we are to being homeless or back out on the street.
We're much closer to being homeless.
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yes, is that we're not closer to the 1%. And so you were telling this story, right? Like somebody blew up your family car. Your dad couldn't go to work. You were 2 degrees of separation from houselessness.
Yeah.
Right? And so like I certainly experienced not nobody blew up our car, but like that same level of so close to houselessness and have been like couch hopping. We have in fact been couch hopping and early in our relationship, not due to money but due to circumstance, and like you said, you were a felon, and regardless of how much time you have under your belt, people don't want to rent here.
Yeah, I remember when we moved here, it was the worst thing is that not only had I applied to about 1,000 jobs,
and we went to about 100 apartments,
and I'd been clean for probably 7 years.
Yeah.
Hundreds of apartments, thousands of jobs. I ended up getting a job for sure. But even after we had a job, the first few months in Portland, I remember like that was probably peak mental poor for me.
And you were working the night shift.
Yeah. I was working overnight because that was the only thing I can get. I didn't like I came home
and it's
not home. Yeah, this is after college. This was after I had my degree, after all the treatments, after all the community service and like volunteering and being a good citizen. We would drive up to Longview and stay with my cousin when I wasn't working.
Shout out to your cousin.
For sure. And then we would drive and we would stay in Vancouver
with my family.
With your family while I was working.
Shout out to my family.
Shout out to your family.
And my family, like my uncle and my aunt, and we were staying in my cousin's room because they were in the military.
Yeah. So basically, and then I was working graveyard. So yep. I would work in Beaverton, come back, fall asleep. You would do what you do. And then I would get up and have to go again. And I was working graveyard probably for like 6 months. And graveyard, when you're not on drugs, is fucking terrible. It literally made me go crazy.
Like, it was tough.
Yeah. And I remember we got to this point. It was like the last week that we could possibly stay in Portland.
In August.
Because Emma was going to start school and we had to figure out the school. And it just like, it got to a point where we're like, all right, if we don't have anything by Friday, we're just going to pack it up and call it quits. It's like Portland's not in the cards.
Right. And then we were going to move into my mom's house and neither of us would have jobs. And
yeah. And I remember that at the beginning of the week, we decided to go on a date and we had $20.
Yes. Because we also were saving. You were still early into this job.
Yeah.
The overnight job. I had not landed a job yet. And we also didn't know where we were going to end up. So part of my job was like finding hotels and talking to people and trying to get in the door, and like the amount of times people ghosted us was unbelievable. But like, yeah, we were actually quite broke at that time. We had only the money that we could use to as a down payment for an apartment. So like spending
Yeah,
any
and
amount of
all
money.
of the application fees.
And so exactly is like if you haven't, I'm grateful that we don't have to do this anymore, but like it, if you haven't been out looking for a new place lately, you have to pay an application fee everywhere that you put in an application, and those application fees range anywhere from like 50 to $150, and this was circa 2019, 2018,
18, yeah.
2018. And so
Actually, 2017.
2017, sorry. I'm wild. 2017. And so they've only gone up since then, I'm sure. Like the application fees. So we were saving everything, and we had and gas money because we didn't want to burden either family too much, and so we would only do a few days here, a few days there, a few days here, a few days there.
Yeah. And those application fees were fucking terrible because I was being full front. I had a nice portfolio put together. Look at all this cool shit I've done.
Disability paperwork.
And I was like,
which you were kind of forced to do.
cannot continue to afford these application fees. Here's the packet of stuff. Is this even possible? And just to be full disclosure, I had drug felonies. I didn't have like murder or rape or fucking assault or violence of any kind. I sold some drugs.
Yeah.
Now they're kind of up there drugs, but whatever.
Yes, but they weren't. And also, like, your rental history was clean.
Oh, yeah. I had money in the bank.
Yeah.
I had a job. Had the car.
Because we worked in Pullman, where we, like, moved from. We worked until the day that we needed to move away. So we collected all of those paychecks, and then they stayed in our bank account while we looked for a place.
Yep.
Yeah. Exactly. And so then we went on a $20 date.
Yeah. So I remember this was our first date in Portland because I had been out. Like I'd just been running wild, and then you had to do all the work on during the day, and we ended up taking $20.
And you were manic at this point, damn near.
Yeah.
It's like you were miserable. Things were really upset. We were days away from having to give up on the dream.
And this was definitely when I knew that I had anxiety and depression. And someone had briefly talked to me about PTSD and never once ADHD, or manic or paranoid or fucking any of the things. And I just felt like the biggest piece of shit.
Yeah.
So I was like full losing my mind, and I was staying up all night. And there are plenty of times in my recovery and even pre-recovery, I understand why people relapse.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine actually relapsing and how fucking terrible that must feel.
Yeah.
Because the system is so fucked. Even when you're actually killing it.
Yeah.
Doing all the things for years.
Yeah.
I felt like the biggest piece of shit because I couldn't get my family into a home. Like even an apartment in the fucking ghetto.
Which is, in fact, where we ended up.
We ended up in the ghetto for sure. But I remember that we went on a date in Portland. Because, like, part of it was like, all right, well, we're fucking done here. So we'll just finish out the week and let's have a date in Portland before we have to leave. And we took $20 and we got fucking Akira sushi. Shout out to sushi. It's very cheap. Conveyor belt sushi. It's still the spot that we go to. I feel like it just has a sentimental thing to us. We could definitely get better sushi somewhere else, but
we like it.
Yeah.
We're cheap dates.
Cheap dates. And then we played at the arcade, the The adult arcade. I can't remember the name of it. Ground Control.
Ground Control.
Yeah. And it just felt good. Like we had a few hours to ourselves. We got to reconnect and play games and eat food. And like those dates sometimes are like completely necessary to know that this is why we're doing this.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's very easy to get lost in all the other stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that because that's a different broke date than the one I want to share.
Oh, nice. So to finish off the story before it gets too long into it, we ended up getting a call the Thursday before the Friday when we were going to leave.
Yeah.
And we got an apartment and we had a whole fucking meltdown.
So what happened? That was crazy. So it was like Thursday morning, and we had applied into this place, and so this is just like hustle and a little bit of like transparency, honesty, and kindness go an unbelievable way, and eventually you're gonna find somebody. Like, it is human connection that always matters. And so the apartment manager on Tuesday or whatever said, like, we had applied. That was still in this last week. This was before date night. Said, apply, like, thank you for this packet. Thank you for your transparency. I can see your rental history. And she straight up told us, like, what she saw, like that she was going to have to run a background check on us. And then she would tell us what actually recalled back, because we had put hundreds of dollars that we could not afford to lose into other stuff. And we were like, please, please, please. She heard our story and she said, this will bounce back. She was straight up. She said, this is going to bounce back. This is going to bounce back and they're going to tell me not to rent to you. I want you to appeal it. And I am going to be prepared to receive that appeal, and I'm going to advocate for you to have a place to live. And if it, oh man. Whew. And if it had not been for that apartment manager who went out of her way to like show us a little bit of kindness and give us a little bit of faith, and just like believe in the goodness of humans. And she was like, I don't know, right place, right time, universe, like, for sure. So Thursday, yeah, she called us and she said, yes, it came back. You need to appeal it. I need you to come in right away and appeal it because this takes time. And so that's exactly what we did. She appealed it. She like called her supervisors at the powers that be, and she was able to overturn it. But
it came down to the last second.
It really was. And we would have, yeah, that was it. That was it.
What's your date? Also, what was your brokest?
Yeah, I think that the brokest that I've ever been, I think that I grew up, and I wouldn't have known it so much when I was growing up, but I knew it when I had family come in from out of town to be like, oh man, this place is dilapidated, which I was like, fucking rude. But like, I grew up in an impoverished town, and so a lot of people were using food bank and stuff like that. And so I always knew that we were broke. Because like we could never just do by like going to the store. Like that wasn't real. And my mom had been like an apartment manager in my younger years, in order to ensure that like she and we had a place to live. Because without it, like, who knows where we would have been. My sort of like fond memory I think about that it also equates to like being poor is I remember that we had 2 TVs stacked on top of each other. in my mom's place. And one was for sound, and one was for and one was um, for visual, for for movies. I don't know how that worked. I'm not an engineer, but I do remember that, and it was great. I also remember like
Speakers out in one, TV out in the other.
yeah, yeah, and the bed in the living room, which in the summer when my brothers and I were staying with my mom stayed in the living room because it was not like it was a small apartment and there just wasn't room enough for us. But that bed slash couch, it was on milk crates, and so we had lots of milk crates. Milk crates were our furniture, and yeah, and it just was. We didn't have tons of furniture, and I don't think back on those being like, fuck, I was poor. I think back about like my mom was really creative and wanted to make the best of what we had, especially in those like younger years, like pre 10, I would say. Um yeah, I think back about that. The two TV situation always cracks me up. Um and one of the ways that like the brokest that I have ever been is hard to equate from a child. Like I had a pretty big like broken home situation when I was a teenager. And so I wouldn't even know where to begin unwrapping that. I know one year I like won $500 in a raffle, and most of that money went to bills. So like I was so excited to see it. And then and I don't know, I had to have been 12.
That's the part I was getting to is all the jobs that I had growing up were just to
they were to pay the bills.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and so like and I started doing work really young. Like I was babysitting at 10, which is whatever, but I was filleting fish down on the dock at 11. Which is a crazy like for tips. I probably was a terrible like fillet. But like kids
she could fillet like, fish now though. The rule is I catch it and she gets it.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't get the fish.
Yeah, I will. I'll get a fish. Yeah, and I worked. I worked most of my high school career. I had to like let go of sports to do work, and part of that was just like the circumstance of how and where I was living. But I bopped around, and like I lived many places in high school. But something that I think about, and when I like wanted to talk about this, what I was really thinking about was when I decided to move to Pullman and to take our oldest. I had been with her dad, my friend Jimmy, but like we had been together for 7.5 years, and I was leaving, like home and community and all of the things that I ever knew, and also stability and work because I had multiple jobs in college, even in community college. To go and do this crazy thing called university, and then I did that, and my rent was, like, I think it was $7.95 a month. Yeah, it was $7.95 a month, and I have a lot of gratitude for Emma's dad. He in that first year that I was in college, he helped out quite a bit financially, just to make sure that Emma had like what she needed and she was not without. But it was like I absolutely had to like go and set up Christmas presents from like the stuff on the tree, right? Like you pick stuff out and like a 7-year-old girl, this size clothes, these are her favorite things, and just to see what comes back. And so I did that for a few years when we were in college. And um and then I filed taxes. I like most of you, I would guess, or at least a lot of you, like hurry up and file taxes as quick as you can so that you can get your tax refund. And I would use my tax refund every year for Emma's birthday because it was my favorite thing. That was like the first thing that I always spent the money on. And in 1 year, I filed taxes in college for $12,000, and my rent was $795. And I had less money than you in financial aid. I remember that and being like, I don't understand. Like I was a single mom in college, and you got back more than I did. And so, yeah, that was hard. And then to try and like make it work to come and drop Emma off with her dad so she could visit her dad, and I had cars breaking down left and right, not being able to afford to fix them. Because of that situation, one time we got a ride back to the west side for Christmas and was going over the Snoqualmie Pass with that friend. I don't remember if we've told this story or not.
Yeah, we did the Jurassic Park.
Yeah, so it was the Jurassic Park cart with no window, no front window, and my kid in the back seat covered up in a blanket.
Burrito style,
because it was snowing on the mountain. Because I didn't have a car, because I didn't have money, and I had jobs, and my financial aid was very low. It covered my tuition and not much else, and so then I think like to fast forward and bring in, we got that apartment, and I got a job. And I remember getting like the first tax return back or something, or like my first amount of money back, whatever it was. And I had worked a partial year. And working a partial year at the new job when I had finally got it, and it was a terrible job. It was a terrible job. But I had only been working it for a few months. That I had made more in that few months than I did in that entire year when I made $12,000 and had to file taxes. And I just remember crying about it. Like, that it was just crazy to know that that was 2 years previously. And then that was within the same month when you and I did not have enough money to afford the food in our house, and we also were no longer receiving food stamps because we were like $5 over the limit. And so there was this really fucked up part about pride that for the first time, and I could not remember how long, that I did not qualify. I think my whole life, certainly my whole adult life, that I did not qualify.
I've always had a food stamp card.
Right. That I did not qualify for food stamps. And like, which is great and like, yay. And now we couldn't afford to eat. And
I panicked a bit.
Yeah.
I never didn't have a food stamp card.
Right. And so like we moved to Portland, finally found an apartment, made $15 more or whatever than financial or than food stamps would allow us, and then we had to be in like food boxes, soup kitchens, that kind of stuff. Yep. Immediately. And we also no longer qualified for free and reduced meals for Emma, so then we had to figure out how to pay for her lunches. It was a wild time. And I felt really poor then. Like I felt really poor because our rent was also higher than we've ever paid. It
was like $1,500,
which was a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and all of the things, it all added up, and so we did had enough money for rent, not much more beyond that. And we were still very dedicated to having a date at least once a month. And so this was right after we got into the place. We needed to have a date. And so we went up into the Sky Tram in Portland, which
I forgot about that.
is one of my favorite dates that we've ever done. And this was also a $30 date. So the Sky Tram in Portland. It is it is really cool to do. I recommend that people do it. It's cost to go up, free to go down. And so if you find yourself on top of the hill where that is and you need to come down, then I suppose it's a free trip. But it was like $5 to go up a piece. And it brings you up to OHSU, which is one of the hospitals up here. But it is, in fact, like an attraction that people love to do. And we did that, and we walked around and looked at stuff, and we're like, oh, we did the Sky Tram. You were very scared, but you did it anyways.
So I don't like heights.
You did a good job.
Thanks.
And then we went to a walkabout, and we went to Waffle Window.
That's true.
And so
the
then
waffle window is sweet.
Waffle Window is sweet, and
It's quite literally a window where you get waffles.
Yeah, bougie waffles.
Bougie waffles.
And so we got Waffle Window, and we did like a walkabout, and then that was our $30 date. Is that we both splurged on waffles. After going in the tram.
Yeah.
So I think like our intention of dating hasn't changed. I think that
it was difficult when Zoe was a babe.
Yes, I agree with that. But I think that like financially, the intention hasn't changed. I think that we've had dozens of free dates where we would just like be in our room and we would put on a movie and we would just like
still didn't watch it Red yet.
That is just a beaten guts movie, I suppose. For you, I guess.
Or for you.
I've seen the movie.
I don't believe it.
I have. I like it. And so yeah, so
I don't even know what Red's about.
Not that I think you possibly could, and now the bit is too good for you to watch it, so you never can. But I do think you'd authentically like it. It's quite good. And yeah, so we've had free dates. We've had really expensive dates. We just did a pretty expensive date a few weeks ago. And then we've had in between dates. I think the intention stays the same. So like our intention is to stay connected to each other.
And do new things.
Do new things, right? I don't think that we've done many dates more than once. I think that the ones like where we're just like watching a movie, eating popcorn, and just like chilling out.
Those don't happen very often.
They don't, especially not anymore. But we've done those a few times, especially in the earlier years, and I think that that's like a repeat that we had in the earlier years. Now we don't even have a TV in the bedroom.
Yeah, we hadn't had that for years.
Yeah.
I had to learn how not to fall asleep to noise.
Because I was not able to learn to fall asleep to noise.
Yeah. Oddly enough, apparently that's a sign of PTSD and ADHD.
The noise?
Yeah.
But also probably the lack of noise.
Yeah.
It's a PTSD trait for me.
Yeah.
I need to be able to hear what's happening in the house.
Yeah, mine is I have to shut my brain off.
That's fair.
Yeah.
We're two different kinds of ADHD and neurospicy, you and I.
Oh, I'm the chaos kind.
Yeah, I'm the control kind. Anarchy. You.
Everyone is always surprised about the level of chaotic music I have to listen to get shit done.
Oh, right. In that sense, our brains are very different. I need the opposite of what you're describing. I'll put headphones on just to dampen the noise in my workstation, even if I have no music happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to listen to this playlist on Spotify. I don't have Spotify anymore because they're gross, but I can't wait to put this on Spotify. But they have a playlist called Brain Scrub, which is literally the most chaotic music, dubstep that you could ever listen to. There's no rhythm. I get the most work done on it. Used to get the most work done on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds awful.
It's fucking awesome.
I love that for you. Yeah. Mind me while I throw up in my mouth. And dates. There was a good amount of time where we didn't go to dates because we didn't. Certainly not consistently. And you're right, I think a lot of it was tied to our youngest. And
absolutely. We were both exhausted. Couldn't fucking think straight.
And also my mom has watched Zoe all for years. She has been her gosh.
It's getting pretty late.
She has been her primary caregiver outside of us easily. She picks her up every day from preschool.
Mm-hmm. Shout out Susan.
I know, shout out to my mom. And so therefore there was this time, especially when low in depression, did not feel comfortable asking her to watch the babe for another few hours or overnight or any of the things. It also I miss the babe. And so yeah, we did less. And I have a lot of gratitude that I feel like we're very on track now. You have something in our calendar for every month through the end of the year, I think.
Yeah. That doesn't have to be the...
I know, but it's there. It's holding.
Yeah. We have at least one thing happening every month.
Yeah.
It's a new skill that I'm very good at.
Unlocked.
Yeah. Achievements
unlocked. And so I feel like we've talked before about what it means to be on an intentional date.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So do that. Find your rhythm with your person or your persons. And what are the things that you feel like you stress the most out about? And then that goes on the list of the things that you're not allowed to talk about for some amount of time. Whatever is causing you stress or whatever is detracting from your relationship, those are not allowed to be on the table for your date night. And I love it. I think that it really helps with connection.
Also play games before bed.
Play games before bed. I want to play Flamecraft.
You should do that.
Yeah, with you.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah. Nice. It's cute. It has dragons. I love dragons.
Apotha Bakery is nice.
Apotha Bakery is great.
Checkers is not.
I've never played. I don't know. Yeah, we have a lot of good stuff up
Crafting the Cosmos was fun.
Crafting the Cosmos was great.
So chill.
I liked the girl. It's the girl who made the stars.
Yeah.
We played that one time, and I think that it would be fun to play it again. It took a little bit of time to get it, but anyways, that's what I want to talk about. I love you. I love you in every budget. And that there's always a way to make it work, but human connection.
Human connection.
Yes.
Nail it. I picked out 3 cards now.
Okay, great.
So, I got level 1, 2, 3 again.
Okay.
We'll start with 1.
All right.
This is a question from Alex Scott. I'm sure I'll have to look up who any of these people are. But again, from the Diary of a CEO.
Shout out to Steven.
Shout out to Steven. So many shout outs today.
I know.
What has been the most happiest moment of your life, brought you the most joy, and why?
Oof. Of my life?
Of your life.
Moments are hard.
Well, so there's two. It's two questions. It's what has been the happiest, what has been the most happiest moment of your life, and then brought you the most joy and why. Is another. There's two question marks.
Yeah. Gosh, I don't know about the most happiest moment of my life. Actually, I think that is that's so much to put on a podcast and right now. But the first thing that came to mind
Right now.
The first thing that came to mind was actually I think about the first time that I really understood happiness. And so I don't know that it's my only happiest moment. I think that I probably have many contenders. But the moment that I found out I was pregnant with Emma, our oldest, I remember smiling and not understanding why I was smiling. And my friend who I was with, Molly, shout out to Molly since we're just shouting everybody out tonight. I was like, why am I smiling? And she said, maybe because you're happy. And that has sat with me for 20 years. Is that I think that I was 18 when I got pregnant. And so I largely had probably not been happy for a very long time at 18. I certainly had not felt safe enough to be happy. And I think it was the first time that I felt hope in a really long time, which has had some repercussions that internally I anchored hope and happiness next to my 18-year-old. My 19-year-old, she's 19 now. Because when she graduated and then the day she was going to college, Christian knows this, of course, but I hyperventilated and had a panic attack, and inside my body thought it was going to die. And so that wasn't great. But I think I felt so happy in that moment. And I think I had a well of sadness and despair before that moment. And I didn't know what up was. A very close contender, you had proposed to me. And we had this really silly engagement that had happened. And we went
fucked up.
And we went.
I was so paranoid. Full paranoia.
It's true. That is a true statement. And then we went to a show. We went to Pierce the Veil. And we were dancing around, and everything was beautiful and great, and also very exhausting. The crowd was insane. The show was amazing. It was probably one of the best visual performances that I've seen at a show. Also, I was probably very excited because I just got proposed to. And all of this confetti was falling from the sky. Not the sky, but the ceiling. And I was just laying next to you, and all of these people were excited, and I was so exhausted. I was basically just pinned between a bunch of people, and it just felt like everybody was celebrating our engagement.
That's true. That was a wild concert.
That was wild.
It was so good.
It was a very good one.
They have the best shows.
Yeah, that was good. What's the second part of the question?
It's the happiest and joy and why.
Oh.
Yeah. All right. I have two moments. So I think I want to preface this with some things that just clicked in my head.
Okay.
I'm not going to share all the things that just clicked in my head.
Okay.
Probably afterwards, maybe.
To me.
Yeah. The thing I want to say is that I don't, the thing that I shared tonight is like one of the many reasons why I don't think that I understood happiness or joy until I was a couple years into recovery.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a pleasant childhood. And if I did, I don't remember it. I only remember the bad stuff.
Yeah.
And there was so much bad stuff. And like, so one of the things that just clicked in my head is that like I've always had a problem with feeling safe.
Yeah.
And even now, still something I have to work on. And I've done a lot of work on it. So, but I remember that we have a book floating around here where we were collecting just like milestones. I don't need to pull down. But one of the pictures in there, you can see my eyes just glaze over because like because you, me, and Emma at the county fair. And like I think that like that was like a true first like relative first experience of actual joy. Like I didn't know what the fuck I was running into for sure. It was definitely early dad moment, but like
yeah, it was very early.
Yeah. Like if everything felt right. And that was nice. Happiness though. I had to go work in Ireland for 6 weeks and I got to bring you out for the anniversary.
Oh, that was so wonderful.
It fucking was. And not to get too far into it, but I spent my whole life thinking I was half a native.
Oh yeah.
Biologically. And then you got me a 23andMe test and I found out I was full Viking, like 90 something percent full on. And that like there was like a few months where I lost my whole sense of identity. And then I felt bad that I was claiming it nativeness.
Yeah.
And then I went to Ireland and like the whole trip of Ireland was I go to work and they work 6 to 2. That's it. So then I had all these hours to just go explore and I did that. And then you came out and we one weekend, we just spent the whole weekend, finding castles and we went to this Viking reenactment and like, I fully believe that my higher power puts me in the right spot when I need to be there. I ended up staying when I was in Ireland. I ended up staying at this Airbnb in Carlingford, and Carlingford was one of the first places that the Vikings came to. So every year they do this Viking reenactment, and we met some new friends, and that's where I got this hammer this morning, and they told us to go to the Hill of Tara.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. And it was absolutely the most spiritual place that I've ever been to. And I went to Israel. I've gone and stood in the fucking Colosseums and fucking, and those places, like there's like, you can feel it there. But like that, like I remember.
The Hill of Destiny.
Yeah.
That was it for me. Yeah.
We were just laying on top of the Hill of Destiny, staring at the sky for a while.
That was, yeah, I cried. I wrote poems up there. Like it was beautiful.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. And that was happiness. And probably safety.
Yeah. And safety. Yeah. And for me, I've had many proud moments. And I've learned that proud moments are not for me, proud moments are not necessarily the happy moments, I guess. And that's why that would be the thing for me. Yeah. All right. Second question. Whitney Wolf Hurd.
Okay.
What would you do if you absolutely weren't afraid?
What would I do if I absolutely wasn't afraid? I If I wasn't afraid and I didn't have a reason to be afraid.
No, that's if you absolutely
I
weren't afraid.
know. I'm about to answer.
Yeah, but you're giving lots of prefaces.
I'm allowed to give prefaces. I'm a free woman.
You're just answering the card.
This is how I'm answering the card. If I wasn't afraid, I would only work on Two Poor Kids, Moss and Myth Society. And then figuring out all of the pieces of how that fits together, ever change and make it all work. If I wasn't afraid, that's what I would do. I would leave everything else. Yeah. Which I'm working on. Being able to legitimately do that. There's a lot of pieces to that. And there's a lot of risk. But that's what I would do. I would say, fuck it all. And then I would do things my way and our way. That's exactly what I would do. I would also get rid of my car. I would probably get that big car that we get to turn out into like a vehicle that has solar panels and everything on it, so that we could go off grid and I could just like do whatever I wanted to wherever I wanted to do it. Yeah. You go.
I would go skydiving.
I am not afraid to skydive.
I'm fucking terrified.
I mean,
but
I'm probably afraid to skydive.
all my friends keep doing it. I'm like, I couldn't do it.
I definitely think I could skydive. I think I'm afraid to skydive, but I'm not skydiving because I'm afraid.
That's not a cop out. Like, that's actually one of the things that I'm most impressed that my friends can do. That I like. There's very few things that I'm not
willing to do.
Yeah. Or that I'm too terrified to do. We have been pretty big on not letting fear. If fear comes into the conversation, we do the thing anyways.
Yeah.
And that, except for skydiving.
This is not the question, but is there something that I wouldn't do? You like maybe would or would not do. Right now, you wouldn't do skydiving. I wouldn't go bungee jumping. No, I will jump out of the airplane. There's no fucking way I'm gonna bungee jump.
Remember when our cheer captain Corey was?
Yes.
Shout out to cheer captain Corey.
All the time, be bungee jumping, cheer captain Corey.
He was wild.
Yeah, he's an adrenaline junkie. He was skydiving, I think.
Yeah, I just got a ton of friends doing skydiving right now.
Yeah.
And there's not many things I won't do. All right, third question. David Harewood.
Okay.
I don't know who that is either. And I think this one is the one that most applies to today's episode.
Okay.
What lesson have you learned from your lowest point, and is there anything about it that you're grateful for? What a great way to end the episode.
From my lowest point, a lesson that I've learned is that there's two sides to every story, and that my side is a valuable one. That my story is valuable and is important. And if I want to heal, I have to be willing to accept that I'm not a piece of shit. That I'm not the bad guy in every story. Nobody in my lowest point, nobody told me I was the bad guy. I just decided I was. And I actually have a lot of pride in having a lot of low moments and points in my life, whether it's like the moments that happened to me or the moments that I caused, and being able to like work through them and find lessons learned and to not like have regret for them. And I don't think that I live with much regret. I can't think of anything that I presently am like, man, I really regret doing that. But yeah, I think that I learned then, and I continue to need to relearn the lesson all the time. But it is okay that I am my own priority, and that I have no idea what is yet to come, and it's probably going to be awesome.
Shout out to Al.
To hell?
Al.
To Al?
Yeah.
Who's Al?
Al was my first sponsor.
Oh, shout
Albert.
out to Al. Oh, yeah, because this is similar to the expectations thing that he says.
Yeah.
Don't put expectations on your recovery.
Yeah.
I wasn't attempting to make that reference, but yes, shout out to him indeed. What about you?
All right. So I think that whenever I want to remember what it was like growing up, and totally this relates to my just my stories that I shared earlier. There's a song from Snack the Ripper. He's a Canadian underground rapper guy. And like it's basically his youth. That's a song about growing up. And part of the lyrics goes, we were poor before we even knew what poor was. Mom was crying, trying to find some eats for her cubs, and always having to get our food from the food bank with the freaks and the scrubs. The thing that I have learned is that everyone has a story. Everyone has a place, and they have a truth, and they like everyone is a person. And the thing that I continue to carry with me regularly every day is I just meet people where they're at today. I have an immense amount of empathy for just about everyone that I can tolerate. And I have increasingly found more and more people that I can't tolerate. So, for not understanding that people are people.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that I can never accept from other people.
Yeah. It's a core belief.
Yeah.
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 I love that.
I will not accept when people try to dehumanize another person. And most of the time, I'm ready to fight.
Disrupting harm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. I love that. It's one of the many things that I love about you. I think that we do that really well together. Hell no.
Hell no. Nah, dog.
It's a hard pass for me.
You're about to get punched in the fucking mouth.
Different phrases Christian and I say, but meaning the same thing. But not saying the same thing. The hell no, I think, really set us up. Well, hell no. Yours was much more aggressive than mine.
I am much more aggressive. When needed.
When needed.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's it for tonight. I think it's time to go to bed.
Yeah, it's fair. It's going to be a longer one. Might even be 2. Who knows? Probably not.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Maybe next week, though. Because we have a bye week the week after. For us, because we both are away in a few weeks.
Maybe yes.
Maybe yes, maybe no, because we'll be back on Sunday. You know say. Okay, everybody. Have a great week. Do stuff. Talk with other people about what you're proud about yourself. Think about the questions that we shared today and bring them back.
I think I'm going to start post these on our social.
I think that's a great idea. Let's post them. I think we could just take pictures of them and post up too.
Yeah.
And so check us out on Facebook and on Instagram at the Two Poor Kids Podcast if you haven't already. The Instagram is probably where you will find us chatting and replying the most. And we would love to see you there. We would love for you to come and engage with us and ask questions. If you ask questions on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, we would love to answer them. We'll do it in an upcoming podcast. So tell us what you think.
I remember, don't bring that hate. One person brought the hate. They got booed right the fuck out.
Oh, right. We actually won't argue in the comments.
Yeah.
I will continue to be selective about my time and my mental wellness. And if you want to be an asshole, out.
Do it on someone else's time.
Yeah. Although that seems highly unlikely from the people who are following Two Poor Kids, but
I found it highly unlikely that this person did that.
Happen.
That did happen.
It was part of our ground rules.
We fucking told him.
All right, everybody. Transcend the bullshit. Have a great week.
Make racists afraid again.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.